Order of Light presents a new era of contact, UFO sightings and strange anomalies, secret space programs and off-world adventures, advanced technologies and new discoveries, extraterrestrial abductions and contactees. Now is the time to speak. As we explore the unknown, the uncertain, and unseen, we are the disclosure, and these are those stories.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my very special, super special Christmas party special. Yeah, tonight with my good friend Libby Valley. This is a super, super special Christmas holiday. Happy Christmas to all of you. Tonight's guest has an amazing story of her and her friend who was driving on Christmas Eve, who encountered two light beings chasing them that went on for quite a while and then became a whole lot more than that. And they witnessed something truly amazing that came with a lot of repercussions afterwards. And the experience didn't end at the end of this sighting they had on Christmas Eve. So I'm wishing all of you that are watching and your loved ones good health, positive energy, love, and light during these holiday seasons. I know so many of you have probably lost loved ones, and in that case, these holidays can kind of suck. They kind of stink. I know, I get it. I struggle with it too. But the most special thing about the holidays is coming together with my friend Libby and I and just helping one another and sharing our experiences and trying to help one another. That is the true holiday spirit. And with that being said, everyone, please hit that like button. Merry Christmas to you all, and welcome to the Order of Light New Era of Contact. Very special, super special Christmas special. Whoa! Hey, Libby. How are you? Welcome to the show. So glad you're here.
Oh, man. Robert, dude, I am so excited. I am so humbled and honored to get to be part of anything that you're doing. You always just keep it so down to earth and so real. And hello, you're reaching out to me. And so, yeah, miracles. I believe in miracles. And I really believe that this is kind of like a miracle Christmas story because of the reason for this season. Okay, like what led up to this phenomenal experience that my friend Maureen, who goes by the name of Mo, that we had back in 2004 on Christmas Eve. And you just don't understand it maybe when at the time when it's happening. And then as the years have gone by, like I said, it's been 17 years since this experience happened.
Takes a lifetime, right? That's amazing. And Libby, I know a lot of people before we get started into this phenomenal experience that I know everyone that's watching this, your socks are going to be blown right off your feet. Or should I say your stockings will be blown right off the chimneys for this one. But Libby, a lot of people in the chat, they know who you are. All my subscribers, you're talking to them constantly. And before you get into that experience, could you please tell us all a little bit more about yourself, a little bit about your background, different jobs, different things you've done, where you're living, where you're coming from, before we get into this incredible experience you had on Christmas Eve?
You bet. Well, I'm Libby, and I'm from Ohio. I'm from Springfield, Ohio, where John Legend is also from, I might add, and a lot of other famous people. But yeah, I grew up, born and raised in Springfield, Ohio, just about 17 miles from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. And I'm the fifth of 8 kids, and well, it's never too late for a happy childhood, and I'm 63 now, which I'm not. They say a woman never tells her age, but well, I am what I am. And so I'm 63 now, and now I seem to just be remembering all these experiences that I've had throughout my life, and I've worn many hats. I've well, like back in Ohio, my first job, I worked at Sears and Roebuck at their little food counter. My family owned a pool room, a billiards club, which I was part of for 4 years in my teenage years, and my whole family plays pool very well. And then I went on to be a school bus driver, and and I was married, and then that didn't work out. So I had a sister who moved to California, Northern California, with a girlfriend, and said, "Hey, you're divorcing, why don't you come out west?" And so I hopped in my big Olds 98, which I called the Silver Cloud, and I had some interesting experiences on that journey, which is another story for another day. But anyhow, I came out west, and I've just done all kinds of jobs. I've run sandwich shops, businesses back in the 80s. But my whole life, I've been a singer, and singing is probably my most favorite thing to do. And it's sort of followed me throughout my life in different ways. Like I grew up singing from age 8 to 16. I sang in church choirs. And one of our elementary school teachers, Mrs. Black, started picking me up at I was either 7 or 8. And I wanted to sing. I never wanted to get pushed into the Bible studies. I just was there to sing, and they could never understand that. So I'd go outside of the church and wait till the second, the 2 sessions they have of the church, 2 church services. So I did a lot of singing in my youth, and then I was involved in singing in school and all the choir groups and so forth. And so let's see, where do we go from there? So Northern California, I was here for a couple years back in the 80s, and then one of my sisters moved to Maui. And long story short, I moved over there for almost 10 years. And I've polished seashells by the seashore. I used to grind and polish abalone shells and make jewelry and work for a little shop called Mermaid's Garden. I used to run a wedding planning company for 5 years called Weddings the Maui Way from 89 to 94. I planned 5,000 weddings, so I'm pretty good with details.
Wow.
And I've just done all kinds of stuff, man. I don't know. I just
Jack of all trades, king of none.
Jackie of all trades, master of none. That's what I have always said. Yeah, man.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you've done a lot, and you said you're a musician, right? You had a career in music.
Yeah, yeah, when I came to California, there was a lady, she passed away 3 or 4 years ago now. It's Lady Bonnie. And she first came back to Ohio when I was like 17, and we started singing together. And I was too young to get in the bars and stuff, but well, we weren't drinking. We were just there performing music. And then ended up coming to Northern California, where she and I sort of picked back up a few years later. And then we started performing all over Northern California, and had some really magical gigs with her, Bonnie and Libby. And I don't know. Then like I said, I went to Hawaii, but who knew that I would be coming full circle and coming back to Northern California again? But that's what I did. And but I started out, I came back actually to sing with Bonnie again in 1994. And so we were singing waitresses together at a little restaurant called Samba Java. A lot of people would remember that famous little hot spot. It's on the plaza in Healdsburg. And killer food. And we used to be singing waitresses on these wine and dine trains. Had some crazy experiences there, like coming up where one of our trains caught on fire one time. The brakes went out one time going up the Willits grade. And so all kinds of adventure stories are coming into my mind. So if I get off track, Robert, you'll bring me back. But anyhow, I moved back to Willits, and was just doing various kinds of work, cleaning houses, this and that. And I hooked up with a musician. I was at a Halloween party in Willits, and met a musician who was performing. well, long story short, his name's Frankie J. And we started performing together. And well, we had a friend, a mutual friend, who heard us singing, and her name is Sherry. And so, long story short on this story is she became very ill, and she said that when she heard our music that it was soothing and healing to her. And could we make her a little cassette or a CD of a song? So we told her to write down some favorite songs, and she did. Well, we also, the very first song, it's only a 30-minute CD with 8 songs. But the first song we wrote is called Best Kept Secret. It's the only original on the CD, and talks about that, yeah, we're the best kept secret, but you are too. And when we wrote that, it's like, hey, everybody, we're all the best kept secret, let's shine our light, let's shine our love, and, just put our best foot forward. And so Sherry was the reason that that CD even came to be. And I believe that this is really a miracle story. It truly is, because as we were making that CD, I couldn't have known what I believe that song, what that music brought into the mix, with our story that we're getting ready soon to lead into. But Sherry's still alive and kicking today. She's doing great. That was 17 years ago. And she got that CD because we were kind of on a deadline, Robert, because it was right before Christmas, and we were rushing trying to get it to Sherry before Christmas, but it needed to get mixed and mastered. And we had a friend who is a sax player and had a really awesome studio that he was Pro Tools expert down in Katati. So that's where kind of I think the journey starts into what happened on that Christmas Eve night. So should I start talking about that, or?
Yeah, and I just want to speak. I've heard the music you sent to me in the Best Kept Secret, and it's beautiful. And your voice is really good. It's like an old-time jazzy Adele Fleetwood Mac, just to kind of make it relatable. But it's not that. You really have a distinct, unique voice. But the music and the jazz influence, but it kind of has that old time, singing. It has that old school like vibe, and it sounds
Mm-hmm.
absolutely phenomenal. And the song is really, really amazing and good tunes. I was actually just listening to it the other night, and I was like, "Whoa, man, she could get it. It's awesome, amazing stuff."
Well, I've always said actually I've done a lot of recording on other people's CDs over the years.
Hmm.
And um, on Bonnie and I actually made a CD called we had a band we called Daddy Please, and we made a CD called Riding High back in the mid 90s, which I don't have it I only have it in CD form, but if I can get it turned into a file that I can send you like I did Best Kept Secret, I will. But no, just some really just magical times through
Yeah.
the music.
So, and with this going back, because this all ties in, we were just talking about this backstory. Backstories are so relevant to these experiences. And
Mhm.
we know this background in music and this friend you have in Northern California. And you have a friend, right? She's sick. You wanted to make a song for her. So
Mhm.
just go over that process, and everyone that's watching, please hit that like button. She's about to go into one of the most relatable, incredible experiences I've heard in a very long time. It really struck close to home to me with the experiences I've had in the past. But if you could just take it from that moment of trying to get that song together with your friend going back to Christmas Eve, and
Mhm.
this absolutely incredible Christmas miracle experience that you had happen on Christmas or
You get me
Christmas
so
Eve.
excited about it, Robert. Woohoo! Yeah, no, it almost brings tears of joy, because I can feel it like it was just yesterday. I'm not even kidding you, like just starting to talk about it now. I just am feeling so much. Okay, well, I'm the kind of girl, I always see the glass half full, not half empty. Um, I always believe that there is a blessing in every obstacle or messed up situation, that can happen in our lives. Well, just like, okay, Maureen, my friend Mo, okay, we never really got to hang out together, but she would come and to Frankie J and my gigs and stuff, and locally there, and when we'd be performing nearby. And well, we hadn't performed in a while because we were making this CD and we really wanted to get it to Sherry was our main thing. We got to get Sherry. We want Sherry to get better, right? And so, um, just lost my train of thought there getting into Sherry. Oh, I know what happened. So Maureen she helped run the water shop and was the bookkeeper there, okay, in town. So I had gone in to get water and she goes, God, I haven't seen you guys perform in a while. And I said, well, we kind of going through this hardship right now. I said, is there any way that you could possibly give me a ride? What's happened both of our cars are broke down. So I called her and I said, is there any chance that you could give me a ride Christmas Eve down to Frankie's taking the bus all the way to Santa Rosa, and then his son's picking him up and taking him to the studio in Katati to mix and master the CD. And she goes, oh my God, it'd be so great just to hang out with you, So I said, okay, cool, So long story short, she shows up and on Christmas Eve, and she was in her bright, shiny Jeep Red Cherokee, and had leather heated seats. And I was like, are you kidding me? This is going to be a fun ride, So I said, well, I just happen to have a surprise for you. I happen to have my headphones and my Sony Walkman. And I said, it's not mixed and mastered yet, but it's a rough cut of the 8 tracks we're working on. And I said, and the first one is a song you haven't heard yet because we just wrote it, Best Kept Secret. And so we loaded up into her car, and then we just are just teeming with excitement, like just young schoolgirls getting to hang out together. It was I just remember our vibe was so high, and she's just such a beautiful, positive, uplifting person to be around. And we were just so excited, Robert. So we get in the car, we head out, get on the 101 to just head out of town. And now the first town that we'll come to is about 30 minutes away. Well, first you go through Redwood Valley, 15 minutes, but then Ukiah is the first big real town. It's about 30 minutes from Willits that we come to. So it's right around sunset time, I think it was, when we were leaving. It was not dark, but it was starting to get dark. And so we're going down the highway, and I hadn't pulled out the CD yet because we were just catching up. And, oh, when are you going to perform again? I don't know, but we're working on this to get this done, So we want to get this done by Christmas, to help Sherry. So she goes, cool, I'm so glad I can help, So here we go. We're just cruising down the highway. Well, now it's starting to get dark. So now we're down, say, towards south end of Ukiah and on Highway 101. And then as you start going, it starts making a climb, a grade sort of like, and it's called Burke Hill Road exit. I remember seeing that sign right before what I'm about to share started happening. Okay, so as we're climbing up, I see the Burke Hill Road. Well, now it's getting dark, and she and I are just still talking and everything. I said, well, by the way, I got a little surprise. I said, but you're not supposed to drive and wear headphones, but it'll be okay for this one song, I'm sure, Well, right as we were getting ready to do that, out of nowhere, all of a sudden in the left lane, going at least 100 miles an hour, a CHP was chasing like a forerunner, and just boom. And we looked at each other. I said, Mom, pull those off, man. There comes a cop, boom. And he zooms by, and we're like, whoa, what was that all about? Okay, let's not get in trouble. We're just cruising, right? And so I said, okay, it's safe. So she goes, give me those headphones. So we put her headphones on, and okay, the Sony Walkmans, man, they played the music really clear back in the day, as I recall. So the first song is Best Kept Secret. Okay, she's got headphones on. Oh my God, she nearly wrecked the car. She got so excited, and she started screaming well, because she forgot she had headphones on, talking louder than usual, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's like, wow, you guys, this sounds so good. I can't believe, oh man, this is bad. And she's like, I can't believe it. Okay, well, no sooner did she say that, then all of a sudden she's like, oh shit, wait, what's that? And I go, wait a minute, what's going on here? Okay, this is where our minds start getting blown like to a whole new level. Okay, we're just riding. She's hearing my song. We're just driving along, and now we're, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes from our destination, 20 minutes or maybe 20 minutes or so down to Hopland is where we're stopping because Frankie's getting a ride from Santa Rosa to there. So we're chugging along, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, okay, I don't know how to describe it other than it's pitch black out now. It's dark out, right? So this is okay, and she's got her headlights on. There's no other traffic on the 101. It's just us. When out of nowhere, what I'm calling two light beings, because I don't know, that's what I just said, light beings, I don't know, appeared, Robert, right on the hood of the car that the engine is under, that hood, not the roof, the hood. And these particle starlight beings about 2 to 3 feet tall, maybe. Okay, the initial thing was Mo freaked out. She's like, oh my God, what are those? Well, I'm scared. What are those? What are those? And I said, Maureen, I held her, I grabbed her hand. She's still listening to the music. And I said, listen, I'm not scared. I think they're angels. I think they're good. But I said, let's look around to see if someone's doing some holographic light trick or something, like somebody from another car shining something from the mountain. Like, I don't know. And
what color? How would you describe the color? Was it a red, a white, an orange, a gold? What would you describe the color as?
They were no colors. They were like whitish, kind of opaque. You couldn't. Okay, and it wasn't like they had arms or legs and a head like human form. They were like a little ghosty kind of form, but they were out of light particles, so it was kind of they were sparkly, like white, silvery, sparkly, like they were just made of light, like millions of little light particles. Is all light. I call them star beings, light beings, and they were just right there. And what I instantly felt was, Robert, that they were dancing, because they were dancing in tune, in beat with the rhythm of Best Kept Secret, right? And I was like, she's like, oh my God, yeah, they're dancing. She goes, but what are they? And I said, I don't know. I'm talking to them. I'm going to communicate. And I said, but I'm not scared. I feel that I think God sent them to us. And she's like, I don't know. Something's happening. I don't know what it is. But so all of a sudden, I rolled down the passenger window. And she goes, what are you doing? No, she's freaking out, Robert. She's freaking out at this. She goes, what are you doing? And Libby, what are you doing? And I go, I'm checking them out. I'm just talking to them. I go, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm communicating because I'm excited, I'm exhilarated. So I roll the window down. And you know how when you're young, you want to woohoo, holler and hang out the window as a teenager, right? Well, I kind of did that. Okay, so what did the light beings do? They had been dancing on the hood. Well, next thing you know, I'm looking straight up and they're right above me, right in front of me, dancing on the hood, on the roof of the car now, as I'm looking at them. And Maureen's trying to figure out, what are you doing? Get back in here. They might get in the car. And I'm like, I'm not afraid. It's okay. I said, I think they're sent from God, whatever they are.
Let them come in. It's okay. They feel good, right?
Exactly. That's just what my excitement I kept. Well, and okay, let me also just add in, she doesn't know about all this paranormal experiences that I've had since I was like 5 years old, which is another story for another time. But so I don't know. Actually, my first thought was it must be the song that made these things appear because hello, I I've never seen I've seen UFOs, spaceships, craft, orbs, all different sizes, all different colors and stuff my whole life, Robert, but I've never had this kind of an up close in my face experience. And people do think I'm crazy, which maybe I am, but
No,
if
you are
I
not.
hadn't, no,
You
but
are
if I
not
hadn't
crazy.
had, if Maureen hadn't have been with me, okay, because she's my validation, and I haven't spoken to her in all these years, and as I mentioned to you, I would love to talk to her again and have her communicate her version of the story to see if it matches up with mine someday. You know what I mean? But anyhow, back to the story. Okay, so now I'm out the window and she's like, please come in, please come in. I said, okay, okay. So they're dancing on the roof of the car. So as soon as I climbed back in the car window there and I rolled it up, she's still teaming. We're both still just out of our minds with excitement, right? But she's got tears just which I couldn't relate to because I was I was completely opposite of what she was experiencing. She was really scared and was holding my hand and everything. Well, what happens next? Okay, if that wasn't enough, okay, so here we are, still continuing. We didn't pull over and park or nothing. We're just zooming down the highway, talking to these beings, right? So now I've still got the window down, or I put it back down. And now I'm looking out to the west, to the right side of Highway 101 South. And all of a sudden, those two beings, they have now transformed themselves into two gigantic, now they're up in the sky. I mean, they look close, but they're big, two big golden lassos of of light is the only way that I can best describe it. Yes, yes, they were just looping and they were still like dancing to the music. It was crazy, right? And I was still talking to them and I said, Maureen, you're not going to believe it. Now there are these bands, they've turned into lassos in the sky and they're dancing in and out of each other, kind of infinity symbol and and she couldn't see because she was driving, right? So I'm describing to her what I'm seeing and she goes, should we pull over? I said, Maureen, we're almost to Hopland. I said, as soon as we get there, as soon as you see the Hopland Hotel, you're going to take a left and then zoom it and just park. We're going to get out and hopefully still see them, right? So sure enough, that's what happened. Okay, we get out, we park. Now she's sobbing. I mean, it was like a Steven Spielberg movie. Okay, and we kept saying, I said, is anybody else seeing this? We can't, can we be the only people witnessing this? How can this be? And she's like, I don't know, but something's happening. I know something's happening. I know something's happening. I said, I know, it's so exciting. I said, I just wish Frankie could see it. And because they were late getting back there, right? And we got there early. So all of a sudden, we're looking in the sky above us, and these two lassos of golden light particle things, they now go and they transform yet again into one gigantic lasso of light now, Robert. Okay.
Wow.
So I'm like, oh my God, I don't like, I didn't understand it, but I was just feeling like a little kid, what I was full of wonder and curiosity, what we were experiencing together. So we're standing there. We just car parked. We're standing there staring up at it. I'm talking to him still. And I said, oh, please don't go. Please don't go. Please stay here till Frankie and his son gets here. We want them to see you too. But as soon as I said that, Robert, after a few seconds, all of a sudden they did that, what I just go, where they just kind of
sucked itself into itself.
Yes, something like that, like this, they absorbed, like they just absorbed and then they became a big golden sphere orb ball. of light
Mhm.
that was just right above us, just hovering, dancing, like, a helicopter can just, or a hummingbird can hover in place, but still
Mhm.
moving, you know what I mean? Okay. All of a sudden, and she's like, oh my God, something's happening. I know something's happening. And I said, I know, it's so exciting, right? And I'm still laughing. She's still crying. And then I said, I begged him, please come back. Please come back. Please. Please come back. No sooner did I say that, Robert, the orb turned back into the lasso of light right overhead us again. And I was like, oh my God, this is so incredible. She goes, oh, Frankie, get here. Mo was going, where are the guys? Where are the guys? Well, the guys didn't show up in time because the very next thing was, as we're staring at it, boom, they transformed from the lasso of light again into that big golden orb, is what I called it, of light. And then it only lasted, I really don't know if it was a second, 5 seconds,
Time
10 seconds.
stops. Time
Time
stops.
totally stops, Robert. Totally.
I
Like,
know.
you know what I mean? Like,
It may
you
be
can't
quick,
explain.
but to us, it feels very long. My experience, 4 seconds with a light being, it seemed like an eternity, but it was only realistically 4 seconds. There's no way to gauge time when your
Right.
mind is being blown into a million pieces,
And the
right?
only real time factor that I know is real is that from Willits to Hopland is a 45-minute drive.
Oh,
And
wow.
And so this was like a 20-minute experience because when and I
Whoa.
don't know, had they been with us before it got dark and we didn't see them?
That's for an experience, I have to say this. That's really long. I've
Right.
reported tons of UFOs. My family's UFO crash case, that was over a span of 5 to 6 minutes total from the sighting to it exploding. The light being I saw, only 4 Mississippi seconds. The UFOs that I see cruising around, powering up and doing crazy stuff, they're at a maximum of 2 minutes. A
Wow.
lot of them are just flashing in for a second, phasing
Right.
in, and then phasing out. Very short. So to have a 25 minute long experience that stayed with you and started off close on the hood of your car dancing, and then
Oh, dude.
above, and then
It's a miracle we didn't wreck the car. Mo, she was beside herself, and I was too, but yet I I don't know. My first thought was, like, we had no idea what they were, but I felt that it was all good. I just kept saying it's all good. I think they were sent from God. I just think it's all good. So getting back to the story, so now I when I asked them to please come back, and they returned as the big lasso of light, I call it, and then they returned, changed, transformed into the big golden ball orb of light. And then all of a sudden, the orb of light just, like, shot, uh, at the speed of light, I guess, out of sight. What I say, because we were standing there looking in the sky to the north at that moment, and the orb just went, like, it didn't make any sound whatsoever, but it did just look like it just vanished, just like pew, flew. It just looked like it flew and disappeared into the north. And then she and I just looked at each other in total freaking amazement and shock, and we were hugging, and nobody even was there. We couldn't believe that nobody else saw this. Okay, like, why us? Why did what the heck? Okay, all of a sudden, Frankie pulls up. Okay, we went to like 500 speed times talking. We were talking so fast and trying to share what we had just experienced for the last 20 minutes. Like, are you kidding me? And of course, they didn't reappear, but Frankie had to listen to us. He climbed in the back seat. She and I sat in the front seat, just like on our ride going south. And he had to, it'd be fun to interview Frankie maybe someday too on what his experience that night, because
These
we,
two crazy women talking about a light being that, he was probably blown away by what you were describing, and he probably knew you very well
right,
and knew
right,
your reaction, and he saw that she was very upset and distraught, and you were acting like you just saw the most amazing thing you've ever seen in your
right.
life. He picked
It
up
was
on that,
like
right?
that. It was like that, Robert. It really was.
He was
And
probably,
he,
what?
because man, he'd just been busting buns in the studio down there, right, trying to get the CD finished, right, and he's probably exhausted in the long drive back up to Hopland, and then he gets hit with like light speed energy from us, just blah, 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 so we're just, that's all we got on our minds, is driving back north. And Maureen, she kept saying, Frankie, something happened, Frankie, you guys, I know something happened from that, something happened. And she kept repeating that over and over and over.
Almost in a way that it was strange that she kept on repeating that
Yes.
something happened. Almost like from my experience, when I had my encounter with a light being, I still have the papers where I would write. I just kept on repeating certain phrases,
Hmm.
almost like after you see something like that, it downloads something that kind of just replays like a broken record. And was it abnormal in that sense that she just kept on abnormally, like something happened, something happened, something happened?
Exactly. I did think it was kind of strange, because it was like, yeah, something happened. I don't understand what just happened, and it's almost like maybe her higher self was letting her know that something
uh
really did
I get
happen. I
what,
never,
like, some, she was saying it wrong, not
right?
just the being seen, but something else happened that you and I are not aware of. And she kept repeating that to herself to
Right.
try to come to the conclusion of what was actually going down. So please continue with that. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Wow.
It's like she had this inner knowing, maybe like that something really, like a miracle maybe
Mm-hmm.
happened or something, because um shall I tell you, continue on then? We get
Yeah,
home and she
yeah.
drops.
Just everything that came after, how it happened, how
Yeah.
everything came to be.
So we're just exuberant little girls, right? And probably driving Frankie crazy on the way home. So 45 minutes later, we get back and to the house, and because he and I were living together at the time, and had making music together and stuff. And so she drops us off, and she kept repeating it, Robert, over and over. I know something happened. I know something happened. And so she also, so I get in the house, unpack our stuff. We get in. I'm still saying to Frankie, I don't know what that was, but something's going on. Something's going on here. So we were just doing some stuff, and I think, playing the CD. He's letting me hear some of the stuff they had worked on mixing and mastering it, and I don't know if we were eating or what, some stuff. But very late in the evening, she calls me back. Mo calls me on the phone, and she once again was saying, I know something happened. I know something happened. And she says, then she starts sharing with me, not that I want to share too much of anybody else's personal, I like everyone to tell their own story, but just to give you an idea, she was about ready to go in for carpal tunnel surgery, I think it was, on her wrists or something. And she started telling me that, oh, yeah, I have to have this surgery, but before I can have any kind of surgery, she said, I had a mishap happen. They screwed up with my anesthesia or something at a previous surgery I'd had one time, and it gave me a heart condition. And so now I can't, they have to do special tests on me. and my heart condition before I can do any kind of treatments or any kind of whatever procedures, you know? So I said, well, let me know how that goes, you know? Okay, so now I'm thinking this was Christmas. It seemed like maybe the weekend passed because I think it was a Friday that this experience happened to us. I believe Christmas Eve maybe was, it just seems, I could be wrong, but it seems like it was a Friday. And then I can't remember if it was the next day, a couple days, or that Monday, but within a few days, Mo called me and she goes, remember when I told you? She was so excited on the phone. I said, what's going on? She goes, remember that night? She goes, Friday night, I kept telling you something happened, something happened. I know something happened. And I said, yeah. I go, what do you mean something happened? She goes, well, remember I told you I had to go have surgery? I go, yeah. And she goes, well, had my surgery, but remember how I told you I have to have special testing done before they can do is anesthesia or procedures because I have a heart condition? She said they freaked out and they said, hey, what's going on here? And she goes, what? They go, well, we're doing these tests before your procedure, but your heart problem is gone. And
What?
she started, right?
What?
Okay, Robert. I don't know, Robert, but I think she was tapped into some kind of
Something
something.
happened. Something
Yeah,
happened.
I got total goosebumps. Them's my truth bumps, man. I get when I'm
Truth
talking
bumps.
truth,
I love
you
it.
know.
Truth bumps.
Ooh, I'm just chilling
Copyrighted
right
Libby
now.
Valley. Truth bumps. Copyright that.
So I'm so excited reliving this story because that's how exciting it was. Okay. This was like the most up close personal
So her heart issue was gone.
was gone. And they said, we don't know what has happened here, but you're all back to normal again. Your heart's normal again. And we don't have to worry about doing these special things to line up, you know, to make your procedure be safe, you know, your surgery. So
By
that's
golly,
that,
it's a Christmas miracle
dude.
from
I
light
said,
beings. You think it was the light beings? What was her thoughts about all this?
okay,
What did she say?
well, she kept reiterating, I told you something happened that night. I told you that something happened. And I said, I know you were just repeating that over. That was your mantra. I know something happened. I know something happened, you know? And I was totally going, well, yeah. And so when she told me that, that made me go, well, whoa, wonder what they did to me. If they healed her heart condition, what have they done to me? You know what I mean? And I don't know I don't know if anything happened to me or not. Uh, but one thing that I did want to tell you that happened also after we got back home and all settled in, and I went into the bedroom, and I remember I was going to give Frankie a back rub, and all of a sudden the whole bedroom. Now he wasn't in there. I was just in there by myself getting stuff ready. All of a sudden, Robert, the whole bedroom filled up with little mini me versions, is what I'm going to call them, of those original light beings that were on the car that were like 2 to 3 feet tall the first time we saw them appear, right? Going down the highway. Okay, well, now the room is filled up with like little, I don't know, 3, 4 inch little mini versions of those particle, sparkly little light beings all over the whole room. Okay. And then they turned
How
kind of,
many? How many are you talking about?
I can't even count how many. I
That
can't, I
many.
can't,
That
I,
many. A lot of them.
I was surrounded and I just kept smiling and laughing. And I tried to tell Frankie, holler at him to get in, come down. He was in this music studio in our house. And I said, dude, get in here. I said, and he didn't, and he didn't. And so he never saw them. Okay.
He didn't
So
see them. Only you saw them.
only I saw them.
Oh
He
wow.
couldn't see them. He just believe. He goes, hey, calm down, calm down. I believe you and everything. But, you know, and I was just so excited. Okay. So then, that was the whole experience. Right. And honestly, I'm sure I probably talked to Maureen after all that happened, I mean, she did tell me that her surgery went well, and I was going to get water from her at the water store in town. And but then I don't know. I honestly, my mind's kind of blank because this was the epic story that just grasped every detail. I mean, it just took a hold of me, this experience,
Yeah.
like no experience I've ever had. Right.
And
So,
Libby, to interject as well, to your friend Mo and her, something else happened, something happened and
mhm,
her being healed. And I know in my light being that I saw, although it only lasted 4 seconds, it gave me a download that has taken me a lifetime to discover. It kind of sounds like they were there to help her with that issue that she was going through physically, but it
mhm,
sounds like all of a sudden you're seeing, imagine like a room filled with dust, but it's not dust, it's 3 to 4 inch orbs that are light matter, light atoms all
right,
flickering
right,
inside, miniature versions of what you saw, but tons of them floating around in the way you would imagine a room full of dust, like uncountable. But Frankie wasn't seeing that, but you were.
exactly,
It's almost like both of you received a download. There was two of these light beings. Important to note. I
exactly.
only saw one, which there was two of you and there was two of them, almost as if, I don't know if this is too much speculation, but almost there was two because they both had a little mission for the both of you. What are your insights? Can you validate that? Can you back that up?
Robert,
What are your thoughts?
it's one of the reasons I love you, man, is because I love getting other people's perspectives and insights on stuff that trigger like, aha, oh my God, I never thought of it that way. Okay. Because now I'm going like, wait a minute. Yeah, maybe one was mine and one was hers, and they each had a mission for both of us. And okay, like I said originally, my first thought was that because she had just put on our original song Best Kept Secret, which is a really positive message,
It's
and
beautiful.
like one of the verses goes, our light shines through the darkness and brings a brighter day. And then Frankie goes, we're giving it all we got and we're on our way. Baby, we are the best kept secret.
Secret.
Okay, right? So you had mentioned to me that I'd never looked at it this way. See, I thought that the song brought the light beings to tell them to remind us that all of us people are the best kept secret, but maybe the light beings were saying, hey, we've arrived. We're the best kept secret.
We're the best. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, they've always been here. My native aunts on my father's side, my native family, I didn't know this until 2 years ago after finally getting to meet them after 30 some years. And it turns out all of them have had encounters with these light beings, and our native ancestors also had
Mhm.
encounters with these light beings. They have been the best kept secret
Right?
for
So,
all ages.
hey, and when I started like honest, I'm totally because I don't lie. I have nothing to lie about in this life.
It's
I'm old
beautiful.
enough to not have, okay, I've done some really stupid crap in my life.
Hey,
We
me
all
too.
got a few
Oh,
regrets, a few wish I could do that over kind of things, but I try not to live in regret and just go, okay, well, whatever I did, hopefully I learned from that experience, right? To not do that stupid crap again. But
what do you learn?
I when I found your channel, Robert, I got so excited. Okay, like I said, this happened 17 years ago. Little did I know I would ever dream that 17 years later I'd be telling a YouTube person who has a channel about my experience. You know what I mean? You just this is sort of unfolded organically. Oh, and by the way, the miracle also happened that day is that we called the CD. It wasn't a CD for sale. It wasn't a commercial CD, but we made a bunch of copies to give to people and everything. And it was called Songs for Sherry, Shari. And another miracle did happen, because we were able to give Sherry the CD, and she, as she was going through her treatments for her, what she thought was a terminal illness, helped her positively. I'm not saying that I healed her, but I'm just saying our music assisted her in making her feel, she got better. Okay, Sherry's still, I haven't talked to her in years, but I know Sherry is still alive and kicking, and she's another fabulous human being.
It gave her the confidence, and these people are putting this out for me, and that positive message that was dedicated to her gave her enough to heal within. We as human beings have the capability to heal within. Not saying that anyone that has lost someone from a disease or something, well, it was their fault because they weren't in tune enough. It doesn't work like that. It's very different. But having that positive energy and believing in yourself, the odds of you making it out of something increase dramatically, especially when you have an awesome band, great musicians that make a little EP, a little album for you, just to inspire you. I'm sorry, that would give me the will to live and to give 110%. As you said, it helped assist her. And talk about another Chris. There are so many miracles in this story. It's ridiculous.
Well, I think this is like, hello, this is the
It's
reason
like
for
Tiny
this people.
Tim.
Right?
Light being
Totally.
edition.
Oh my God. Totally. Oh man. So yeah, it's a totally 100% positive story, and I couldn't make, how they say fact is stranger than fiction, or life is stranger than fiction. It's like, I could have never dreamed up a story like this. You know what I mean? And maybe nobody would have.
Say something, Libby, too, because Libby and I, we just talked yesterday. I want to make this clear for everyone that is watching this. I've had tons of guests come on where we've talked beforehand. Libby, just like me and my family's UFO crash story, you have literally repeated word for exact word. This actually happened to you. I'm actually absolutely blown away, because very much like when I share my family's UFO crash story, I've shared it probably 50 times. It's the exact same thing every time. We don't add to it or take away.
Right.
It is what it is. And to me, these are the most fascinating stories, not meant for entertainment, just something that truly happened to us that we couldn't comprehend, but we saw the effects of it, and the effects of it stayed with us for the rest of our life. And every single day, there wasn't a day that went by where we didn't think about these light beings. Can you clarify that?
Can I get an amen on that? I am not even joking, Robert. 1,000%. No, seriously. Okay. And so, okay. And, I don't know if this is a good time to bring up about some of those pictures I had just sent you, some various things. And that I've always looked up at the sky, and now, okay. So I guess we need to fast forward to my next chapter of my life. Okay. So in 2010, I kind of split up with Frankie, and well, it was a little bit before that, but anyhow, I moved out, and he was still living there, and all my possessions and everything were still there and stuff. It was a mutual decision. It's all good. We're still friends to this day, right? As a matter of fact, talking this story makes me go, who knows? Maybe we're going to record some more music. I don't know, but
it was a smooth transition, a smooth separation.
Right. Well, it just, I don't need to get it personal or nothing about everything, but let's just say I moved on to the next chapter of my life, and he did too. And I end up moving never dreaming I would ever go further north than Willits. Okay. I don't know if you know where Willits is, but there is a
Is it
sign.
near the Emerald Triangle? For
Oh,
my
that's the
community of
beginning.
people.
Yeah. Yes, it's
Murder
kind of the
Mountain for the Netflix special. Is it near Murder Mountain?
okay. Well, funny you would bring that up because the Emerald Triangle, if I'm correct, consists of Mendocino, Humboldt, and Trinity counties, you know,
Mhm.
and I think is their nickname. And okay, now I had done some gigs, like I used to sing backups with like Bonnie Raitt's brother, David Raitt, and and we do gigs someplace all in different areas in Northern California. And even back in the 80s, I used to come up and watch David Raitt and his partner at the time, who I ended up playing music and recording with, who is no longer with us. I can't think of his name right now. It's escaping me. His name's Mark. I can't think of his last name. But anyhow, they played music. But other than that, and being a school bus driver for 10 years, okay, and I drove in Willits for 5.5 years. I used to drive the kids up to the wrestling matches, like up to McKinleyville, 3 hours, 3.5 hours away, and go on these long school bus trips. Other than that, I really had no desire to come further north. But, well, you know how life happens, and well, new relationships happen, and well, you don't plan these things. Well, I got into it, without even thinking. I'm in another relationship at that point right now, moving into 2011. And so I started coming out and hanging out up here and having no idea that I'd ever live up here, but in 2013, I officially moved up here. And I live on this really beautiful, my partner now and I live on 180 acres, and there's 2 parcels. We don't own it. We rent, but
Off grid, way off grid.
yeah, like I think I mentioned yesterday, not most women my age would want this rugged lifestyle, but I assure you, it's hard work, but I'm telling you, no one's as healthy and strong, and I can outwork 20-year-olds. Okay. I am really
Right.
healthy and strong. Okay. Because I hike all over the mountain. I redo repairs and fix things and splitting our firewood. I'm sitting in the car, so I'm looking out at the mountain of firewood that's got the tarp over it. So off grid, I
You
wouldn't
don't
change it.
rely on anyone for nothing. Everything you need, you're able to get, and Mother Nature provides, right?
Exactly. It's like if I want, if we want firewood, well, we go find some of those down trees and we go chop them up into rounds and then split up. And if we want water, well, I go and I switch the road valves, or I go clean the high lifter, hike down the ravine, 300 steps down to the ravine. You know what? It's hard work, but it's what you do I don't know. I feel like I've kind of come full circle back. And my mother, God bless her, she just turned 87 on the 13th, and she's living down in Willits, and I told her, about some of the stuff, because she goes, "You're all my babies." I said, "Mom, hello, I'm 63," and she goes, "But you'll all still always be my babies," and she goes, "But I got to tell you, you're living like we did when we were kids growing up. We had to heat our water." We had to, I remember getting my hair washed in the sink as a kid in Ohio, and so she goes, "Yeah, it's like full circle. I go, I know. Simple is better, less is more. You know what? Meanwhile, okay, and also, I think I might have told you about 3 days ago. I think it's been now 2 or 3 days ago. We had the biggest earthquake hit
Mm-hmm.
6.4 epicenter right up the road, 30 minutes. Okay, we're getting calls daily now from people who their whole house just got red flagged because it got knocked entirely off its foundation.
Wow.
Okay, like it was the earthquake of earthquakes, exactly 1 year to the day that a 6.2 hit us last year. So it was crazy, and it shook for over a minute the entire cabin. I mean, it was scary. I'm pretty brave, but it was scary. I was like, geez, is the shaking ever going to stop? So anyhow, here we are, life up in the woods. Um, okay, I haven't really, I'm starting to get back into it. I used to take, especially like back in 2016, 17, 18, I was doing a lot of photography with, when I realized that I don't have to use my little digital Pentax phone, I can use, wow, there's a good camera on this Android phone. And I'd never had a phone like this before. So I started taking pictures, which if you go to my Instagram account, I've got about 400 pictures I've taken, but a lot of them are from 2018, 2019, and previously. But so what I do, I've started to get back into it, and I haven't figured out the camera very well on this new phone, but I've always liked to go out at night when I'm shutting down the generator or bringing in firewood or whatever, or putting the cat away. I'll come out and I just walk out and look up. Just look up. And I can assure you 9 times out of 10, I'm going to always see some kind of sky activity. The sky is clear. I've been seeing
5 to 10 minutes a night, right? 5-10 minutes a night. I tell everyone it only takes, just do it taking your animals out to use the bathroom at night. You're bound to see something.
Okay, now granted, there we talked about this yesterday about when you live out in the middle of the woods. Okay, there's no neighbors. Okay, no neighborhood. I mean, like there's
no light pollution.
No light pollution. So it is like sometimes, like in the summer, my stepson and I, he was 3 when I met him. He's turning 16 next month. I can't believe it. So he probably won't want to do this anymore. But when he was younger, we would drive out, make some popcorn, and we'd lay out the sleeping bag up on the hood and roof of the car, and we just lay out there under the stars on the road so that, so Dad wouldn't worry that we were going to get eaten by a big bear because, well, we're not fenced in. I see mountain lions.
There are big bears and mountain lions where you live. A lot of them.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, I'm very thankful that I'm very connected with ravens. I have been for a number of decades, but especially up here on this property, Robert, I'm not even joking. They'll start, if I hear them squawking, oh, they're making a real squawking crazy, something's going on outside. I will always go out and check because chances are there's a predator, like a coyote eating the kibble out of the cat food bowl. Okay. Like, the ravens come, hurry, come out. And they're, and I go, a dog? And I go, oh my God, it's a coyote, or I'm walking down the driveway and out of nowhere, the ravens appear and swoop down in front of me. And little do I know, there is not a mountain lion, a bobcat with the little shorter tail jumps out 10 feet in front of me out of the bushes. And I would have not known that had the ravens not appeared to warn me of that.
They're warning you. And I know the other night, I'm sure everyone would love to hear this, but we were talking the other night and you're like, oh, let me see if I can get the ravens and stuff. And you just started speaking Raven. Her Raven impersonations are so good. I honestly thought it was an actual Raven. That's mind blowing. Can you do the calls forever? I just want everyone to hear this.
I can do a couple.
It's beautiful. Go ahead.
Okay, I know. Well, and we have a friend that shows up here from time to time, and he tells me that I'm a voice actress, and that he told me 5 years ago that I should make a YouTube channel and that I would be famous and become rich off and I'm like, dude, like I really want to, hello.
I don't want to deal with those trolls.
Well, that was before I even knew about YouTube. I'm assuring you, I have not been doing this YouTube thing too long, until about 2016 or something maybe. And then I buckled in and said, okay. And then I go, okay, well, this is fun. Hey, I can take good pictures. I love to take pictures. My grandpa was a great photographer. So I started like getting more used to having the phone, and then it was like having all these paranormal experiences and stuff up here. And then connecting with the ravens, I have memory cards from old phones tucked in a little antique vase that are filled with thousands of hours of pictures and videos of me talking with the ravens and communicating with them. And,
oh, wow.
and I think I'm this close, Robert, to getting them to actually go, hello, hi. Okay, and I do this little I love you to them, and I heard that they have a vocabulary up to 75 words or more. And
Very
so
intelligent, very intelligent.
yeah, and I know that they totally trust me and I totally trust them. And I don't know why, but
They
I just
hold
got,
grudges. They are grudge
yeah,
holders. They do
you
not
better not.
forget.
Exactly. You piss off a raven or you do something mean to a raven, they will not forget and they will tell their whole murder
Yep.
of ravens that
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So
Same with crows. Same with crows. Yep.
exactly, they're cousin, right? Aren't they cousins? The
They're
crows and the ravens from
cousins
the
and the ones
corvid
that help
family?
carry the soul onto the other place. I mean, according to my native customs and things like that,
Yeah,
ravens or crows are ones that help transfer the soul. You know?
right. And I think in my spiritual animal cards, I think it Raven, if I can recall, I think is number 16. It's either 16 or 17. I think it's 16, and it's magic is I think what it says, how it just,
Mhm.
describes about them. But anyhow, so yeah, I feel that, we don't even have to talk about how insane the last 3 years in particular have been for not just our country, but the whole world. And that's preaching
What
to the
are
choir
some
for
of
sure.
the Raven? I want to hear like the
Oh,
basic Raven calls that you did the other night, and you tricked me. I honestly thought I
and
was
by the
hearing
way,
them.
can I tell you, I wasn't even, no, I swear to you, I swear to God, I was not trying to show off or be boasty. I honestly forgot. That's the first thing I do. What I did, which I'll do in a second, was like, I was sitting here in the car and we were getting ready to end our conversation. I said, oh, wow, the Ravens just flew in. And I went, "Ah, ah, ah." And you go, oh, wow, I hear him. And I said, no, Robert, that's me. And I went, and you're like, whoa, they're clicking. And I said, no, that's me too. And you're like, no way. And I go, yes, way, because
It
and
sounds just like them. I know what they sound like.
and when they're kissing on the branch, I just fed him a mouse because if I don't like to kill anything. I swear to God, I don't like to kill anything. Okay. I turn stuff loose. Okay, but I will tell you that the wood rats and mice, the rodents will take over your cabin. Okay, you got to
I'm
draw the
going
line
through it
somewhere.
right now. We just are everything. It's getting
You got to draw the
ridiculous.
line. I
Yep.
cannot. Okay, so I usually have a mouse to take out, and because they get recycled. Okay, they nothing goes to waste on our property. Okay, the ravens, their favorite thing. They love pasta. They got some plain linguine yesterday. Okay, well they got two mice this morning. But when they are fly in and they get fed, or they'll every single morning, I mean every morning, even if it's raining, I open up, Robert, here they are. They're out there crowing. They must know I'm talking about them. I'm not exaggerating. I hear them right now. They're right in the fog. It's foggy and funky out and rainy. But they come and they sit on the branch. And as soon as I open the bathroom curtain, I wave at them and I point and go, just a minute. I'm coming right out. And no, they like a pet, like a cat. I mean, they're
Like
not
a
cats, but
dog,
you know
they,
what I
they
mean? They're
wait
like
for you. They have a schedule. They know
exactly
you.
morning, noon, and night. They are here. And I've even had people go, you should trap them, you should cage them, and have a pet raven. I
No.
said, dude, you're missing the point. I have the connection. No,
Without the
no, I'm
enslavement, you don't need to
ah,
enslave them to be connected to them.
exactly. So I'm
Exactly.
like, it ain't gonna happen, folks. Okay. So sometimes when they're in a really, because I don't know, I've just interpreted maybe my own way. Somebody else might interpret their body language or how the ravens are co-speaking with each other. But Robert, I tell you, it's this little lovey-dovey sort of thing when they're sitting on the branch and together, and they're just looking at each other and kissing, and instead of doing their, like, because they can go, when it's really something like, get your ass out here, something's going
And
on, you need
mine, the
that.
selfish ones,
Exactly. Or
yeah.
they'll go, and they'll do this chirpy kind of little, and then in between. But I sing to them, and they'll stop and cock their head and just look at me. And then, and I said, I know one of these days you're going to repeat after me. You're going to say hello, and I'm going to just start crying probably, right?
Yeah.
We're this
Eventually
close.
they
We're this
will.
close. So, all right,
Don't give
Robert.
up on them. That's amazing. And your connection with nature, being out there, and I can't even imagine all of the different things you have seen being off grid with no light pollution. I can only imagine. I'm sure this is like a part one. But going back to the experience you had where you were with your friend and these two to 3 foot oblongish sort of light beings that were on the hood and dancing and kind of moving around as you were driving. You pop your head out, you look on the roof, and they're above the roof, and then
Dancing in that same form, yeah. And
that
I'm like,
same
now they're
form,
dancing on the hood. And she's like, get in the car, get in the car.
and
And I go,
then they take off, right? Like shooting, maybe
to the
200
right.
to 300
Just,
yards,
I
going
mean,
way off.
you can't tell how far it is, but it all seems, because these were just right. Like I could have touched them. I literally could have tried to touch them if I wanted. I didn't go that far. Okay.
No.
But, they just, it was like they wanted to give us a show or something. And then they, like you said, absorbed into themselves and just transmuted into, now there's suddenly two lassos of light. Yeehaw! And I'm like giddy with excitement,
And
And
they're
then,
dancing around each other, and then
yes,
they become one golden orb, correct?
well, before they became one golden orb, the two lassos became one lasso, one big, like a big,
I
uh,
got you.
like a gigantic lasso of light in the sky that was going around in a circle, like
It was
wavy.
two of them chasing each other, then eventually becoming one, going so fast that left a single tail around it.
However it happened, I can't honestly, you can
And
probably explain that better than me.
then it became that golden
Well,
orb.
yes, because it was the lasso, and we were begging them, oh gosh, please don't leave, please don't leave. And that's when they're like, really? It became an orb of light. And I was like, oh my God, now look, orb of light. Like, what? And, and it all happened so fast. I'm saying this was just once we had parked and gotten out, and we were standing right there outside the Hopland Hotel. It was like, I don't know, 5 minutes maybe, or
Yeah.
hard, 5-10 minutes maybe before Frankie pulled up. I don't know, but it was still like, you
Yeah,
compared to your,
because you said it was a 45-minute drive, and the
Mhm,
entire light experience lasted 20 to 25 minutes, which means
exactly.
if you were parked on the side and that was only 5 minutes, that leaves about 15 to 20 minutes of you guys physically driving with the
Yeah.
beings on.
Yeah.
So maybe a 3 to 5 minutes in front of the hood on top of the roof, and then over there off to the side. As you were driving, you were the only one able. Thank goodness, because if she wasn't paying attention where she were driving
Right.
you're on mountains. That's
Yeah.
a high
Yeah.
incline,
Yeah.
a very steep grade. As you mentioned
Mhm.
before, you were on a grade, so it's not one of those situations where she could just be. There could be a tractor trailer coming around that bend.
No,
You got to,
serious.
yeah,
Uh,
wow, that's incredible.
no,
Absolutely
man.
amazing. And it sounds like so many different miracles happen from, her heart condition being healed,
Yeah.
from you being able to continue probably
Yeah.
till this day to still see these
Oh, they're still
amazing
with me,
things
Robert.
till
Robert, they're
this
still
day.
with me. Whoever,
Wow.
whatever they are, maybe it's a higher version of myself.
Yeah.
Maybe it's some of my star family. I mean, I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna
It
be
could be
all,
your
ooh,
team. It's probably
my,
your team,
right?
our
Okay.
ancestors, our loved ones, our protectors. We just call them our team because we don't know. I don't know. But they're there.
Well, I don't think I shared this with you the other night when we talked, but in 2011, I a girlfriend of mine from down south in Redwood Valley, she had been having these oracle readings from this oracle lady, and she wanted to buy me one,
Oh,
okay,
wow.
as a gift, and so okay, which I have a CD of it. And have you ever hid something so special that you want to put it in such a special spot that you can't find it? You ever done that? You hit
Yeah.
something so good that you can't find it, and I go, I know it's in that cabin somewhere. Well, I had okay, and I mean, this isn't the time to tell that story, obviously, because we got to go pretty soon, I guess. But um, I did have a reading, and the one thing that because that whole reading that I had, okay, you think this story's phenomenal, okay? I think a movie can be made out of that experience from that reading, what happened, because it tied into another phenomenal experience that involved timelines and holograms and my the person that the experience happened with turns out he was my soul brother from another lifetime that had to do with King Arthur and a Grail princess. Okay, this is an
Yep.
epic story. Okay, this is going to be an epic one for another time. So that's all I'll tell you about it. But the one thing I will tell you about that was I asked Judith on the phone, I said, okay, can you tell me about, um, I said, I had this experience, the experience I just shared with you and your audience about the light beings. Okay. Well, I asked her, I said, well, here's somebody to ask. Okay. And it came up into my memory. So I figured 7 years later, I don't know why it just came to ask her. And I started telling her about what I just shared with you. And she said the words that she used were, those are angelic emissaries of light. And she told me that I'm an earth angel. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, hey, I kind of like the sound of that. What can I
Makes
say
me
to
feel
that, you know?
special. Yeah.
So, okay. But so other than that, your guess is as good as mine. And
And
but
you bring up a great point too. You know, these angelic earth angels of light, or regardless of, after I saw the light being I saw, it gave me a name, and other humans that have seen that entity has described it as an angel or has given it an earthly
mhm,
name.
mhm.
And the all reality of it, they don't have names. It's frequency, vibration, pure bliss, love and emotion, purity, safety. You felt it all, hence your
Ooh,
excitement. You
truth
know,
bumps are welting up on me again, Robert. I got
yeah,
the full body
you
chills,
know,
man. And you
they,
saying that's
but
true.
the same things that people throughout history have called angels are these beings. Now, I don't
Mhm.
believe that, you know, angels or demons, the way Hollywood portrays it, you know,
Exactly.
portrays it to
Mhm.
be. I believe that these are actual dimensional beings that have their own thing going on, but it's just easier for us human beings that if something's paranormal and good, just call it an angel. If it's
Right,
paranormal and negative, just call it a demon. It's just putting things into a box, and that doesn't tell us
right,
anything about that angel or about that demon. But believe me, they are a lot more than just angel or demon. They have great galactic histories. They are higher dimensional, interdimensional, crypto terrestrial, exoterrestrial. sorts of beings out there, and I'm not going to try to explain, and I'm not going to say someone that calls these things an angel or demon, I can't call them wrong, because the truth
Right.
of the matter, none of us quite know really what they are. They are just these light beings. I
Right.
like
That's what I
we
call
call
them.
it for what it sees.
I just
Yeah,
call them light beings because that's what they reminded me of, star particles and light. And I'm
yeah.
telling you, I'm getting tears in my eyes. Okay. And that's another truth meter for me, you know? I don't know what you were just saying got me all emotional, man. It just touched my heart because, you know, we are all the best kept secret.
Mm-hmm.
And people will say, "Oh yeah, she's that chick that always comments that in her comments when she gets in a chat room," you know? Because I'm the kind of person that I just want it's got to be win-win for everybody in every experience. You know, I don't know why I'm getting emotional. This is crazy. I didn't plan on that, Robert. Let me wipe my eyes a minute.
Oh, it's okay. I've been there.
I
It
feel
is
it. It's just I
emotional.
feel so much. And I know, okay, I'm okay, like I'm getting downloads as I'm saying this to you, man. Yes. Yes. I'm getting big, large yeses. Yeses is all I'm seeing in big giant boxes. Yes. Yes, you know. So we I didn't know this was ever going to happen, that we were going to connect and then we were going to have this experience, which I'm totally so happy and humbled by. And but I just want to encourage everybody to live their light. Okay? We're all light-minded people. We're like-minded, but we're
Hmm.
light-minded. Okay? And
I like that. I like that very much. Order of light style.
exactly. And when I saw your the disclosure, I think the first video of yours I saw, I know I was like, oh, this is my dude right here. Okay. Boom. You know how some things, some channels, it's not like I have nothing to do. As you know, my off grid life keeps me, I'm usually multitasking. This is the longest that I've ever got to sit still uninterrupted. I'm not even joking. It's after 3 o'clock. I can't even believe it. Okay, 2 hours.
That's your
I have
Christmas present
you,
from me to you. Merry
Robert.
Christmas.
I'm seriously, you are my Christmas present. Okay, this is going to be probably my most epic Christmas ever, and because it's like from my heart to yours. It's like it's so deep, and all this bullshit going on out there, and everybody fighting and this and that. It's like, hey. And I like some people go, oh, observe but don't absorb. Okay, I don't have a problem. Like I know that I have acted. My brain, my multidimensional self is so activated that okay, I can listen to 5 years of intel. Okay, now I know. Boom, I got that put away. I'm going to be able to help those people that still think I'm fucking crazy. Excuse me, that still think I'm crazy and a liar and weird, and but yeah, meanwhile they're all sick, and because they didn't want to hear that I said I just want to spew some facts to you. I've got documentation of everything I'm saying, but nobody wanted to hear the truth. So okay, that's
Yeah,
okay. I just
and
go ahead.
speaking of that, you know, saying that
Oh,
you have documentation of weird things,
hey, what
you
you got
sent
there,
me
Robert?
this picture, and yes, the golden orb that you described of your experience on Christmas Eve was much larger than this and in the sky. But could you go over what we're looking at here? Because this is a perfect segue that you're not just saying these things. You have captured some really amazing things, but out of all the things you sent to me, this one really grabbed my attention. Can you explain this photograph we're looking at? What are these things and what was
Okay.
going on? Perfect transition.
Okay, because as I was going through a bunch of my old photos, and I believe me, I have thousands of, I was like, what would be sort of, kind of tie into this cosmic conversation we're about to have,
Hmm.
And then I was like, oh, right up. Okay, I think Robert's going to like this. So what I did was, okay, I was coming, this was like, this was in either 2018 or 2019. I can't remember. I'd have
Okay.
to go back to Instagram and look. But just a few years ago, I was coming down the mountain to go to town. And at the bottom of the mountain, you got to go across this little bridge thing the creek runs under. Then there's a grove of redwood trees. And then you go out. And just as you're coming around the last little curve, you're only going like 2 miles an hour because now you're coming up to the bridge where the Eel River goes under. So there's a big bridge that I have to come up to. So
Yeah.
just before that, this is at the beginning of our road off the main bridge road. So I looked over, and it was in summertime, I believe, when I took this, because it was a gorgeous day. I remember that. And I look
Yeah.
over, okay, now here's the trippy thing. And this happens a lot in pictures and videos that I take. Stuff doesn't, I don't see the things like, okay, like I didn't stop and go, holy shit, there's a golden orb. Let's take a picture of it. Okay.
Yeah. You
With some
just took a
upside
picture.
down urns. Okay. Here's what caught my eye. I'm like, well, this is kind of a trip. What are those pots or urns? They look like somebody has set them upside down because it looks like if you turn them over, the top is at the base, and that
Yeah.
you'd put flowers or what.
I
They're
thought
some
the
kind of.
same thing when you sent it to me. I'm like, what are these bells? Or
They
I
look
had
like
no
a bell,
idea.
kind of.
Yeah,
So
I get
I
it.
was just going, what the heck are these? But I had my trusty little phone with me with the camera on it, so I just stopped, leaned out the window, and I caught this picture. Well,
Wow.
I was like, because I said, when I get home, I'm going to ask my man, I'm going to go, dude, I just, can you, what do you think do you think somebody set these out that, hey, I got your pots all, you'll see them as soon as you turn on our road, you'll see them sitting there. Or was this people set free stuff out along in front of their house sometimes for
And at
free?
this
Take
point,
it.
you didn't know the golden orb was there. You just wanted to show them, hey, what's this?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. The golden orb was not part of my reality when I took the picture of those
Yeah.
urns or whatever they are. Okay, but I think I took another. I don't know if I sent it to you. What I did was I
Yes.
cropped down and I
Yes.
made it. Okay, there we go. Yes, I did send it. Okay, I cropped it down to make the single because when I went to show my partner the picture and ask him, who do you think put these down here? And what do you think these urns are for? That's when I discovered what the heck. He goes, "What's
It's
that?" And I said,
crazy.
my partner's Jamaican, he's Rastafarian, and he's like, "Daughter, what's that?" And I said, I don't know what that is. That wasn't there when I took the picture. At least when I didn't. That's not why I took the picture.
Yeah.
So I went
Wow.
ahead and just posted those on my Instagram account, which I basically only put pictures on. I've
And to
never. I
see
don't
it
put
in
on.
the full picture, there are 6 of the exact same
Right,
thing.
right.
And when it comes to sun glare, the third one is actually the brightest, has the most white on it with the leaf in it. And there's
I see
nothing
what you're
there.
saying. Yeah. I
So,
never considered any of this. I like
like,
you looking.
if it was a sun glare or something, now the 3 to the right, they have a little bit more shading on them.
Right.
But the
You can, yeah,
one with the most sun glare is the third one, but it has some leaves above it. But you got that
right,
second one there, but you can see the giant leaves on the first and second one
right.
covering it up.
Exactly.
And you're
It's
like,
almost
what the
framing
heck
it,
is that?
framing. It's
It
almost
looked a
framing this
flame.
flame.
Yeah, it
It's
looked
like, well,
like
as
it
a
was
matter of
lit,
fact,
but that's not what a flame actually looks like when you take a picture of it. You want to even see it from that distance, you know?
and it almost looks like a little figure. It like I can't see right now very close
Yeah.
to zoom in on it, but it's like a tube, like a tube of light or something,
And inside of it, there
a
seems
little
to be
being. Or
grain,
so, I can't. I don't know. I don't
stuff
know. I'm not
going on.
pretending.
It seems thick. That's
Yeah.
what we're getting at.
Yes.
It's not
Exactly.
like
Look
a
at that.
whisper thing. It seems to have some sort of substance to it, especially with this one here.
It's just not
Absolutely
something you've
incredible.
seen every day. And I've also had that happen, Robert, where I've taken some really cool shots of the Eel River. And
Yeah.
if I can find it, I'll send it to you. Um, but there is, and it's not a flash or a nothing. One of my favorite things to do is when I'm going across the Eel River Bridge, because like right now, the river is growing, getting wider, and pretty soon, if depending on how much rain we get this season, you won't be able to see the bottom, the
It
beach
really
area down
floods
there, right?
out.
Oh, it's been up 2 feet above, under the bridge before. It's so scary. I got good videos of that. But this one picture I took, and it's always pointing usually to the south out my passenger window. Like I go left over the bridge and I go, let's see if there's a good, it's beautiful today. And it wasn't until after I went back and looked, there is a gigantic orange orb. I mean, gigantic, kind of in the redwood trees in the right of the picture, right along the shoreline. So I'll try to find that and send you that one too. So
Well, so you've had a lot of other encounters, and this all kind of goes back to that the giant orb and the two light beings and that whole entire situation. And to final thoughts and such to get your ideas as we wrap it up here. Out
mhm.
of this experience you had with Mo and seeing these two light beings and that interaction and the download and seeing these other orbs and anomalies and many other strange things that I know that you've seen that we haven't even got to. We've only just tip of the
Mhm.
iceberg, your first real eye-opening experience that kind of opened the whole can of worms to then you start to have all these memories. What was your biggest takeaway and your final message about this Christmas Eve miracle of seeing these two light beings interacting with you and your friend? And, also keeping in mind, like you said, you didn't have people to talk to about these things. I know
Mhm.
how isolating, even though everyone that's watching this, oh, I would love to have that experience. Trust me, Libby and I, we had to go through a lot of suffering and keeping this deep inside and bearing it as deep as we can bear, trying to make ourselves forget because it was easier to forget it than to accept it in a world that doesn't. It's really, really hard. So, with that being said, what was your biggest takeaway from having such an incredible experience? And Libby, I absolutely, there's so many little details of what you described that matches up the light being encounter I had. So, there's no
Wow,
doubt in my
chills, Robert.
mind.
I'm getting them goosebumps again, man, when you
It's
said that.
just
Well, it's got to be
the way
connected.
it looked, the way it acted, even though we had two completely different experiences, two different colors of light beings, just the way they act and how it is what it is kind of situation. And I think that gives your experience a purity of it, some of that wonder and amazement of not fully understanding what it is. So what is your takeaway from this? What's the
And I'm
overall message?
and I'm really, because nobody's ever asked me that, and I never even asked myself that question. That's Robert, you just provoke so much food for thought. Like, wow, okay, I got to think about that for a second. I think some of the biggest takeaways, like just spontaneously in the moment thinking about it, would be we're not alone. Hello.
Yeah.
Um, Keep your mind and your heart open, like to magic and the great mystery of the universe. Okay, the great mystery of life, and that just be open. Like, okay, like I'm a very open flowing, like I'm a circle kind of person. I'm not a square corner kind of person, like,
You're not a square.
okay, I'm not saying I ain't square, but some people are probably going to go, yeah, this chick thinks she's hot. But you know what I mean. So I'm just saying, okay, just be full of wonder and curiosity, and And the magic, our world. Okay, everyone, for all the reasons that we all know, I don't have to go into food, air, water, everything, medicine, okay, that have dumbed us down, basically, it's like, I think the bottom line is miracles are real, magic is real. Okay, it's making me want to cry as I say this. It's so crazy. I'm not a crybaby well, sometimes I am, but it's just because it's just so from my heart. Is it just have fun, enjoy life, every moment. We don't know what tomorrow or the next nanosecond brings. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that expect a miracle. You know what I mean? And just go for it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the ultimate message is, but just it's all good.
I agree. Live for now in the moment. And I always tell people, with the light being I saw, and this relates to my overall message. I was a pastor at the time. I believed every word of the Bible. I said I believed in angels. I said I believed in a higher sky daddy going around controlling everything. I believed in these crazy teleportation stories and all that in the Bible. I fully believed in all these things. And I was into doing paranormal investigation, ghosts, and stuff like that. When I saw this light being, it was the first time in my life, more than being a pastor in the church, more than having ghost encounters, seeing this light being was the first time where I had 110% validation that there is something else.
Validation. That's the key word. Validation. That was validating, most definitely.
Once that exists, anything can exist. So as you
Anything's
said,
possible.
keep your heart open to the possibilities. Don't close yourself off. Be a human. Collect the knowledge to transfer to the rest of the universe. That's why we're here. We are data collectors, essentially, in a higher dimensional way. So live it. Enjoy each moment and do the best you can at it, and don't give up, and keep wishing for your miracle, because you never know when it will come. Whether you're in your living room playing with your kitten and a light being appears, or you're driving with your good friend that you haven't seen for a while to get to a studio to finish recording a song and get it mixed and mastered. You never know when these experiences happen. And we both can tell you 100%, they happen when you least expect them, right?
Oh, there was nothing to prepare Mo and I. No, there is.
Nothing.
No, zero. There is no way we could have known what we were about to encounter and experience. No way.
I absolutely agree. So everyone, just keep your cell phones running, because I guarantee you, if Libby and we had cell phones and we had enough time to react and record these things, and if we saw them again currently, we would do everything in our power to record it now. But we just haven't. It's, and kind of makes me wonder about everyone talking about them having these amazing experiences and they don't have evidence. When we live in a world with all of this technology, I promise you, if you or I would have had cell phones that we could just hit one button and start recording that experience, we would have both done it, both of us. And it just wasn't there. I really wish it was. So everyone out there, if you do have this experience, whip out your cell phone. I'd rather someone else record it than me. We missed our opportunity when we encountered these beings. But all of you that are watching, you're still waiting for your experience. And when it does come, hopefully you can have your phone ready, but there's no predicting of it. There's no timing of it. So even if you have your phone, you might not even get the chance to do it. It's tough.
Just like like 10 days ago or so, I'm in a time warp. Time doesn't exist for me, but
no such thing as time. Come on.
But the one night, exactly, the only night I did not take my phone outside when I was going out to shut down everything, secure the area, late at night, and then look up at the sky. Okay, it was the only time I didn't have my phone, and I swear, oh, now they're messing with me because they know I don't have my phone with me. And I started seeing these red, round, flashing ships. They were, I forget, I think I mentioned it to you in our last conversation, but they came two in at once and they were just hovering. They were just hovering, standing still, two round red ships. Okay. But then so I didn't call it a fleet because they weren't a fleet altogether. They were a spread out fleet of round red flashing ships of some sort.
Oh, wow.
So right here on the property.
One time you don't bring your phone.
The one time I did not have my phone in my hand.
I know. The same
And
thing happened to me probably 3-4 years ago. My girlfriend and I, we go outside, take our dog, and we saw a cloaked ship that looked like a cloud, morphing, changing shapes, shimmering, all of this directly above us. The most amazing thing. We didn't have our cell phone, just taking the dog out to go poop. And then it goes to Philadelphia. Boom. Someone in the ghetto records it on their cell phone. It made major national news. The video got millions of views. And I was just like, I had a better view of it. It was directly above me. It was 10 times larger, and it was morphing way more than what they recorded on the actual news. I'm like, yeah, it's just the way it goes sometimes. That's why I am so thankful. Like my video I posted about like a week ago of what I caught of it interacting with me. My excitement was because I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're actually playing along. They know I got my cell phone. They know
I'm so glad.
them.
I'm so happy you just brought that up, Robert, because I wanted to just tell you, I started crying and I was excited just like I was. That same sort of feeling that Mo and I had with the light beings on the car. Okay. When I saw you communicating and then they started pulsing brighter and brighter, I was like, yes, Robert, yes. I was so excited for you, Robert. Really.
The tears, I was going through the comments. Yeah. I've read them all. I just haven't had time to respond because I actually like to respond to people. So sometimes I just save it and then I'll spend 5-6 hours answering every comment. That's how long it takes. I have a lot of comments. But in that video, I have never seen a UFO video that had so many comments. I'm crying. Like,
it brought me to tears.
About it's not just you, tons of people.
Wow.
Like, I've never seen a UFO video that has had that kind of response and the reactions of that kind of emotion. And, you know, I talk about aliens and UFOs all the time. I've recorded countless UFOs. This one, I was gasping for air. I was truly like, holy crap. It knows, like, it was like deliberate the way it did on the time. It was unlike, I've recorded literally probably 50 different UFOs. And this one was a whole nother ball game, and it was emotional for me. And my girlfriend was yelling. It was 5:50 in the morning.
Wow!
And I'm screaming. She's like, "Shh! You're gonna wake everyone up." I'm like, "I don't care." It's you.
I know, right?
I was freaking out because it was insane just to see that blowing up. But your emotional connection to that video. There were so many comments under there of people like saying, I started crying. And more importantly, it was when I said, thank you, I love you, in such
yes,
the way you say I love you to a pet or something, you know, I love you.
That's when I cried. You said, when you said that, I am getting chills. Like, I totally felt that when you said that, you know, and it was like what I felt towards those beings that encounter Maureen and I had. You know, it was like,
she was crying. You were like, I love you, welcome.
Right. I said, I invite you. I said, I welcome your presence. I welcome your presence. I believe was the way to say it.
Keep riding on the hood. It's all good.
God. Okay. Wow. This has just been so
Wow.
much fun chatting with you, Robert.
Thank
And
you so much.
the best truly is yet to come for us all. Okay. This is just the tip of the iceberg, as they say. Okay. I really feel like just everybody just just open up your heart like bigger, more magical than, and just ever. Like, I don't know. I just feel like this is going to somehow be my best Christmas ever. And my phone just went to 8%, just so you know. So this is,
Uh,
we're doing real good.
well, with that being said, thank you, Libby Valley, so much for being brave enough to share this experience. It does take courage, but it truly fascinated me so much. And this is an awesome Christmas Eve special, Christmas special. The fact that this profound experience so happened to happen on Christmas Eve. It was just like the timing of the universe, a true Christmas miracle. But I want to
Jesus,
thank you
oh,
for
Jesus. You get me, you get, I know, man. I'm going to
Ooh,
send you
don't
the
get me
Christmas
started.
CD. You get me
Yeah.
so excited here, Robert.
Don't,
I see you put me in the Christmas spirit, man. You did.
don't get me singing them hymns. But
Shh,
yes, everyone that's
don't get us
watching,
playing music
please.
together.
Everyone in the comments, please, and everyone that's watching this, please hit that thumbs up button. Please give it a share and subscribe and set a reminder for up and coming videos. Libby's information, her Instagram, can be found in the description along with any other links she will give me. That will be in there, maybe an email as well. So if you want to reach out to her and reach out to her and talk to her, she would love it. She's living off grid, all by her lonesome, in
Well, I
peace
got a
with
good man by my
harmony,
side,
and
but I got a
with
good I got a good man and a couple of cats and a mountain full of wildlife, you know. But other than that, it is pretty quiet up here. I have not seen friends and family for 3 years until recently.
yeah,
So
you're off of it. So, please reach out to her, and she has everything she needs in nature, and that's the way to be. It's the only way to be. Universal wisdom right there. But reach out to her. She would love to hear your experiences. If anyone out there, if
yep.
you've had an experience that is similar to hers, or you really resonated with something that she said, reach out to her. She would love to talk to you and try to help out any way she can. By no means, Libby and myself included, we're not all knowing masters of the universe. We are just people that just so
Mhm.
happen to have really incredible things happen to us that we don't quite understand, but we do understand that we want to understand it. And that's
Bingo.
what it's about. So, everyone,
Absolutely, Robert.
Libby, to all of you at home watching this right now, we wish you happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy
Merry Christmas.
Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Johnukah, Happy
Whatever you call
Festivus,
it.
miserable December, whatever you want to call it. We are wishing you positive energy,
Mhm.
love, and light all day and
Yeah.
all night. Robert Earl White
Woohoo!
with the Order of Light, New Era of Contact. We are the
Rocking it.
Disclosure. And we will see you all next time. We have a lot of amazing things up and coming in the works. And Libby, thank you again for coming on. Your story is truly an inspiration to me, and it's given
Dude.
me a lot of validation. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Okay, Robert, I think we're going to hook up again. I don't know. I got a feeling this could just create a miracle that you think that was a miracle. I have a feeling that we're, I don't know, about to witness even more spectacular occurrences, shall I say.
And that goes for everyone that's watching this. So, everyone, get the popcorn ready, get your seatbelts on, and enjoy the
Look at
human experience because we are
right
living
on.
in a time that it's the best to be alive. Merry
Yeah.
Christmas to you all, and we will all see you next time. Bye, everyone. Much
Bye,
love.
everyone. Thank you. Love to everybody.
Please join the YouTube membership for my channel. You will get exclusive badges, really awesome emojis, member-only live streams, posts, and chats and connections with me for only $5.99 a month. See you there. Hey everyone, check out the Order of Light merchandise store. We got a lot of different t-shirts there. The Humans Aren't Real, Lower Always Creek Incident. We got tank tops to Merkaba. We got stickers, glasses, a lot of different glasses, so get thirsty. We got bags. I live in New Jersey. We don't have bags anymore, so it's really nice. We got flip-flops, hoodies, and all the ladies out there, we got a bunch of awesome merchandise for you.